Hello, everybody. Welcome to Witches and Warlocks, where where we have divine conversations around divine partnerships and connections. And I'm the Black Fit Witch.
I am Galactic Honey.
And we're going to have just open conversation tonight. I know we haven't been on since probably like around the 13th, 16th, our 13th episode was around Valentine's Day. What is love? So we haven't been on since then. Which is almost a month ago. So we're gonna get back into just conversation, really just open. Nothing, not a particular topic right now, but of course, as we talk, of course, a topic will present itself, I'm sure.
Yes.
um, but yeah, it's just I'm gonna put it in here. Um, just for me, just hold on, I'm put this open conversation, y'all. That so we'll have this up here. So I would say just for me, when it comes down to partnerships, I have been seeing a lot of connections, a lot of weddings, a lot of people talking about relationships, just a lot of people connecting. I know the last time we talked about what is love, the love energy is still out here, out here, out here a lot. I see a lot of people even having, podcasts and YouTubers just connecting to what to do in a partnership, what to do in a connection, which I hadn't seen that in previous years, not like it is now. Like it's beyond relationship coaching. It's more so like just sharing, masculine energy, what you should be doing, feminine energy, what you should be doing, and
I
helping
have
us to
been
be
doing the
better
same
people.
thing.
Yeah, it's just really just helping us be better people in our connection. Just like I think it was not last week, maybe, yeah, week before last, or was it last week? It might have been last week. I can't remember. These weeks, days go by. But anyway, me and my partner, we had a conversation and we was just sitting down, just talking like we do, because, we just talking. And so sharing with him just my thought process on the way that I view, different aspects of our relationship, and us just having this open forum to just kind of share and dialogue, so there's no gray areas in the connection. And so I definitely feel like with now, I saw somebody posted, somebody I follow, one of my friends posted, is real funny to me. He posted, it said in the post, if we're dating, I don't have to talk to you every day, right? And I thought it was funny. And then under that post, he put, let's argue. So I put, I put, no, if you're dating, you don't have to talk to that person every day. Like, I don't feel like when you're just dating, when you're feeling out, is this a connection? Maybe you're still coming into your awareness and you're not quite sure if this is a divine connection or not. And you're kind of trying to feel it out as well as feel out where you are with your energy. It's not a requirement, or one would say, for you to talk every day.
Mhm.
However, when you are aware that this is a divine connection, when you've decided, like, hey, this is a committed relationship, when we've stated, hey, you're my mate, you're my partner, you're my spouse, or you're my spiritual partner, whatever it is, then yes, it on both ends, on the masculine and the female's end, like it is on us to talk to each other every day, whether it's via text message or conversation or seeing each other. Like having that direct connection on a daily basis is what builds up the bond between you. So yeah, when you're just dating, it's not as formulated or structured for you all to do that, because you're not aware of what it is, but once you know, like, hey, this is what it is, this is what we're doing, like, we're connected, And so, in order to be connected, I need to connect with you daily. I need to know if you make it home okay. I need to know how your day is going. I need to know, what headspace you're in. I need to know if somebody pissed you off in traffic. These are things that just builds up the structure of the bond so we can become more in sync and we can become more connected to our wants, our needs, and our desires as we grow within the relationship. And if I'm not connecting to you every day and what's going on in your life every day, then there builds more disconnect than there is a connection. Mm-hmm. So even with my partner, like I had told him a few weeks ago, I'm like, different things are going on and I'm not knowing until like it's getting ready to happen or something like that. And I'm like, I want to understand and know what's going on. If there's something that we can work out together, or if there's something that you need to just get off your chest, like share that with me. I don't want us to be talking every day and you not share these different situations that's going on in your life and I'm not a part of it. And it makes me feel disconnected. And on his end, he did state like, hey, some things I'm working out in my mind to kind of figure out what my next step is. And he said, I don't always have to like tell you like, hey, this is what's going on. And I don't have a solution. He was like, that doesn't make sense to me for me to do that. He said, sometimes I'm just trying to work it out. Sometimes I'm just trying to figure it out. And then once I have that figured out or understanding of it, he said, then I'll share it with you. He said, but we had to come to, I would say, a compromise on the way that we communicate.
Yeah.
And for me, that's just how I feel. I feel like if you're in what one would call a committed relationship, or you've decided that this is going to be my partner and we solidified where we stand within the connection, then communication on a daily basis is what I feel. But depending on you all and your life and your circumstance and your situations, you may feel like, hey, I got a whole busy life. I don't have time to talk to my partner every day. And in that instance, if it works for you, because like I said, every situation is different. However, how can you really build a strong bond with someone that you're connected to if you're not connecting with them on a daily basis? And that was one thing that I had to share. I'm like, you connect damn near on a daily basis with all of your coworkers. You see them on a daily basis. You have to talk to them on a daily basis. You see them Monday through Friday, right? So if you seeing them every day, you talking to them damn near every day, except for 2 days out of a week. Then you're building a connection with people that you're working with every day. The same energy has to go into the connection and the partnership. That's just how I feel.
Mm-hmm. And if we are not connecting on an everyday basis and we call ourselves, in partnership, we are together, then how do you know that I care about you? Because 9 times out of 10, if I don't contact you or communicate with you, you're going to assume that I don't care. You're going to assume that, that starts to play on a person's mental as well, like on your thought pattern, things that you thought that you might have reprogrammed yourself on, now is coming up and you are having to face it head on. That can cause problems. That's miscommunication, because now you're just leaving me to think what I want to think, even though, truth be told, you can tell me what I want to hear, but you are now leaving me to just think, that you may not care what I'm doing today. You may not care about how my day is. My whole purpose of communicating with you every day is to show you that I love you, is to show you that I care about you. I care about your well-being. I care about if you had an argument at work today. I care about if in your friend group, you're not seeing eye to eye with your homeboys. Like, I care about all of those things. And I care about your health. I care about I care about everything. So to me, that's very important to, once you do establish an actual, we are together, this is a relationship, we're working our way up to marriage, or to, we're taking our relationship to the next level. It's important for us to communicate every day. Like, because my thing is, when I'm not big like when we don't have a title. I'm not the one that's going to communicate with you every day because we don't have any type of title. Now if we getting to know each other, yeah, I'm going to communicate with you, but I'm not going to press you. I'm not going to, really be hard on you about communication. But once you take that relationship, once you ask me, we take it to the next level, then yeah, it's going to be, we need communication. Like we need to be
Mm-hmm.
having these conversations, and it'd be okay for me to ask you, how was your day? And like this interesting. Intimacy is vital, but it's so emotional freedom. Is emotional freedom. So yeah, I get what he's saying too, but still, we still need that is a part of, you know, us moving the relationship forward, us seeing about each other. You know what I'm saying? Like some things though, I do understand because my partner has said the same thing. He said if you don't have a solution, he said, so he was like, why am I telling you if you don't have a solution? I have to come up with the solution myself. But my thing is sometimes two heads are better than one. You just never know if the solution is there. If you never communicate it to me, you never know if I have a solution. You know what I'm saying? If I don't, I'm okay with that too, but still, it's still okay to tell me, even though there's no solution, because the solution might come up in my reality, but it hasn't came up in your reality yet. It doesn't have to be resolved in that right there in that moment. It may come up later. Like, guess what I saw today? You know what I'm saying? You was looking for a solution to this issue, and I just came across this. You know what I'm saying?
And I also feel like sometimes when you're not sharing, that can minimize or kind of like dilute the intimacy, because I'm being intimate with you by sharing the intricate details of what's going on in my day-to-day life. That builds up intimacy, that builds up connection. 'Cause I'm being intimate with you. I'm sharing those things that are intimate to me, that only deal with me. So that's building up our intimacy where we feel comfortable with sharing. And I would say sometimes, and this is what I was getting off of him, that he doesn't feel as a male that he needs to share because that's not what men do. Like men don't share everything that's going on. It's almost like complaining and whining from a female type of energy. So what I was trying to relate to him is that you share with me, even if you don't have a solution. Like, I still want to know what's going on in your life. Like, I'm a part of your life. If I'm a part of your life, why am I only excluded to certain things that's going on in your life? But in other areas, when you're going through different things, that I'm not included. And when like I had told him, I've already shared with you the fact that masculine female energy connected together is very powerful in various ways. We create sex and creating a child is just one area. Like the way that we come together and we create is extremely powerful. So just like what you were saying, you sharing it with me, you putting it in the womb energy of me, like you don't know what downloads or channeling the universe is going to give me to assist you with whatever is going on. By you trying to take it on just from a masculine perspective, just from one end energy, or sharing it with your homeboys, like that's not going to get you what you need. Then if you share with maybe a coworker or just a friend, or female friend on the side, she's not directly connected to you in a divine partnership. So you still not going to get what you need in the way that you could get it. I feel like just by us sharing those hardships in life that we go through with each other, that's when the energy of the universe kind of culminates around it to bring us out of it, and to keep us from even going through those things. Like he had an issue last weekend. Yep, this was last weekend, and he was going out of town. And we had already had a discussion about something that made me kind of pull my energy away a little bit. And when I pulled my energy away a little bit, and he called me the next morning at like 6 o'clock and told me everything that he had went through and happened, and I knew why. I'm like, that's because I had pulled my energy away from you because you haven't been sharing with me those things that's going on. And when I pulled my energy away from you, then you lost my high frequency feminine covering over you to have things that's going on in your life. At this point in your consciousness, you're probably not even going to understand it or get it. But when he told me, and for him to call me it was 5 o'clock, for him to call me at 5 o'clock in the morning to tell me this, and I'm like, oh, all that happened yesterday. And I didn't know because we had talked that morning, but I didn't know this all had happened that evening. And I was like, oh, okay, that's when I pulled my energy away. So makes sense. And so he doesn't really get that when you do me this type of way, you don't listen to me in these areas that are vital to our relationship and our connection, then you're losing some of this power energy that we have when we are connected together. And so, and that goes for feminine to masculine and masculine to feminine, because masculine pull their energy away too. When masculine pull their energy away, we'll see less protection around us. We may see more men coming. We may see more men just of just various, like, why is he even trying to get my number? But when you're covered with that masculine energy, those men know not to even come to you. Those men will look at you and just praise you for what, like today, I was at Starbucks, man just praised me for what he was like, man, he said, I love those shoes. I love your outfit. He says, you just looking good today. And I was like, thank you. He said, man, nobody ever told you looking good. Did he try to get my number? No. Did he try to ask me for my name? No. Like that masculine energy covering is already over me. So whether he know I'm with somebody or not, it didn't even matter because that energy, and that's what happened when that masculine energy is over the female energy over the masculine. Like it's a protection for both of us on both ends on a lot of different ways. So us staying bonded and connected through conversations, one, and I feel like, hell, even if you busy, like you got time to text. Like you can text me anytime. Sometimes I don't be feeling like talking and I just want to lay down and just rest and just look at TV, and I don't even feel like I have no conversation with nobody. But I can shoot you a text message. I can see how your day was. I can make sure that you good, and then I may hit you up later, or you may call me or whatever. But at least having some type of connection or checkpoint, I would say, because sometimes he'll just call me like, I'm just checking in. I'm just checking in, or he'll give me a rundown of what's been going on for the day, just to let me know what's happening, because that's what we're supposed to do. But for one thing, I would say this for both ends, no matter if you masculine or feminine, if your partner is not doing this, have you told them to do this? Because sometimes, I'm going to say this for women, like men don't know to do this. And a lot of things that we have to groom and teach and train them how to handle you and how to handle your type of energy, because my type of energy requires a little bit more sensitivity, a little bit more acknowledgement, and a little bit more of a real hands-on approach of dealing with me, because I'm a lot. So I have to inform him, this is my requirements, this is who I am. I don't want you to even guess. Like, I don't even want you to have to try to figure it out. I'm going to tell you what the requirements are. And this is what you need to do to handle me. And then that's when he, she, whoever is supposed to take the necessary steps in order to meet those requirements, just like they would on anything else, or a job or whatever, how they get money. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel about like just connecting and checking in. Like, what's wrong with checking in? Like,
a lot of women don't like those what you doing texts, but because sometimes it leads to a conversation that they really don't want to have, or it's from somebody they really don't want to. But I love to see them coming through, and sometimes it make me think about, like, what am I really doing? Like, sometimes I'll just be laying in that damn bed, like, like chilling, Like that's where I find my peace. And that what you do in text just lets me know that you want to know what I'm doing. And I feel good about that. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm not doing nothing, it just lets me
Mm-hmm.
know that you want to know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? When it's coming from my partner. Now I can't say that for, other things, but when it's coming from my partner, it's like, okay, he cares about what I'm doing. And sometimes those what you do in text is like a reminder that I need to do something sometimes, because sometimes I can just find my solace and be in my bed, and that's where all the magic happens anyway. Like that's where I go into dreamland. That's where I get my downloads. That's like my sacred space in that bed. So um, but I like how you talked about the covering, because this is one of the downloads I have been getting for the past 2 years about the protective covering that we put over each other. Like it's like in um and when we dealing with an Ifa, right? When we dealing with when we dealing with Orishas, they put a protective covering over the Orisha when you just dealing with the ancestors, so they don't mix the two, so that those spirits don't connect with something and it's not supposed to. So what I have come to realize is, I have been watching a lot of videos about how women are saying, why am I why every time I go out, all these two beautiful women, right? This man, he had gave this scenario about these two beautiful women. Both of them went to the club or went to a bar. And one woman, she had all of these men coming for her. And it was just, men that she normally wouldn't, have anything to do with. And then the other woman, she didn't have anybody coming towards her. So they were kind of wondering. He said he sat back and he watched them, and he said he knew both of the women, and he understood why one woman had no mates, nobody trying to holler at her, and the other woman had so many, right? And he was talking about her energy. The woman who was in lower vibrational energy, she had all those lower vibrational spirits coming towards her. And then the woman who was in a higher vibrational energy, she didn't have that, because they didn't match her frequency like that, right? And so it's kind of like that scenario where I've seen a lot of women on the internet talking about how they are not getting approached by men. They are not, they like, where are all the men? Like nobody's approaching me. Everybody's just expecting for you to say something first, all this other stuff. And I came to the conclusion and received the download is that those women that are on that higher frequency also have a male counterpart who has already started manifesting them, right? And has put that protection over them. Men tend to I see I feel like men tend to put protection over what they want very quickly. Like even when they're just trying to manifest it, they're just saying out loud what it is that they want, what it is. Yeah, she gonna all of that is they are like spelling warlock energy and spelling that protection over the thing that they are wanting the most, what they are drawing to them. And the women, as women, we need to learn how to do this in a way to where you can also meet that energy of your divine counterpart as well, because a lot of us just say what we want. A lot of us don't know what we want. We just start really not we really aren't connecting with ourselves to actually know what it is that we really want in a mate. A lot of women I've been seeing on the internet have really just given up on dating. They've given up on trying to find a mate. Well, they think they have, you know what I'm saying? But really, this is the masculine's power. Like this is his power being thrown over you so that can't nobody scoop you up, you know what I'm saying, before he meets you, you know what I'm saying, like that. And so I think that that's a very powerful thing when it comes to energy and being able to pull your energy back and being able to, so that you can show like, okay, I didn't pull my energy back, you know what I'm saying. But I also think that it's healthy I also think that it's also done in a healthy way. Now, doing it in a malicious way is something completely different. But when you're doing this in a healthy way, you just letting them know like this is where your help is coming from. I don't like anytime, even when me and my master have been in separation. I don't get men that come up to me. Like he has a very powerful protection. And what's so crazy is I heard a song one time. And in the song, because I had started asking questions, I'm just like these women. I'm like, I don't see like there's no men. Like I used to get hollered at all the time. Prime example, when me and my ex-husband split up, when we split up, he took his energy away from me, and I had all of these men. I'm talking about the lowest of vibrations.
The gas station folks.
Gas station nigga. Like it was just the lowest. And I'm not talking bad about you. I'm not saying that y'all can't be great men. But what I'm saying is these was drunken fools, like dope boys. Like it was real deal low vibration. And I was like, where are all these men coming from? Like I felt attacked almost sometime. And I was on my way to Atlanta, Georgia. I was riding with some friends and I was on my way to Atlanta, Georgia. And I got the download about the protective covering. Now, this was like 2 or 3 years ago. Okay. And it was like, but the fact that I removed myself from the city gave me the download that, okay, I'm not protected anymore like that. Right. And so I was like, okay. So this is what we do. I'm like, so this is what we doing. Okay, so what I did was I'm asking, like, okay, I was putting the protection over myself. So that's the point where I learned how to protect myself, like put the protection over myself, which when you are doing these things yourself, like you said, the combination of the masculine and feminine energy working together is a very powerful thing. When you are doing this yourself, yes, you can do it. It's going to be great, but you're going to take way more spiritual baths than you need to take because these things are you tend to leave holes in the protection. I don't know how they really explain it, how I see it, but you tend to not do it as well as what happens when a warlock puts their protection over you, right? And so when after a while of I started playing with the tarot cards, not playing with them, but I started learning tarot and all of that. And I had 2 separate decks and I took them to my partner's house. And at that time he was like, he was like, come on, pull me a card, and so this one day I decided to take 2 decks and I took two different, completely different decks, right? I take them over there and I was like, okay, this your deck, this my deck, right? When I tell you that in this reading that we was doing, I would pull a card. We both shuffled the decks and I pulled the card. He pulled the same exact card, 7 of Pentacles, right? And the 7 of Pentacles is like you looking at what you have grown, looking at what your harvest, you are tending to your crops. You are basically, and it's also about protection too. So the next card that we pulled the same exact cards. I'm talking about 2 completely different decks, but in the reading, it told both of us, I was like, you
girl, stop.
Say hey.
Hey, man.
Don't close the door. Go on out of here. No.
It's so funny. He grabbed you and looked over your head. He looked up.
I didn't really even realize until he put his hands on my shoulder. And
he gonna peep around.
That's my little star child right there. But as I'm reading the cards off, and I'm like, so it was telling us to protect each other's energy because certain things had transpired. And so at this point, it was telling us to protect each other's energy. And then he was like, I was talking and I'm thinking like, okay, I need to like kind of dumb it down a little bit because I wasn't thinking like his consciousness would be able to understand what I was saying. And he was like, okay. He was like, okay, I get you. I get what you're saying. And I was like, no, I need you to understand that this says protect you, because it's so crazy. His deck of cards had the woman with the apples. She was looking at the apples on the tree. My deck of cards had the whale looking down at the, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I say we need to protect what we have built. We need to protect what we have grown. He said, okay, I got you. I promise you. From that point on, men do not just come up to me. Men don't they don't come up to me at all. Like they'll be like, you so beautiful. I might get a phone call and they'll be like, your voice is so beautiful. And I just know you. We ought to meet one day. It's always like they on the other end of a phone. It's even if we're in face to face, it's always this distance that they keep. They might open the door up, you know what I'm saying? They might say, you know, we might laugh about something, but they don't never try to, you know, just like, let me get your number. Can I call you sometimes? And anytime that it does happen, I always think that I'm being tested.
Exactly. Like, where's the camera? Who recording me?
Like I know this thing. I know there's something going on, but yeah, but that protection and that protecting each other's energy is so important, and it's something that we need to learn how to do more of. That way, because you really are protecting what you have grown, all of the growth that you have encountered throughout this time period of you messing with this person, or even trying to find or trying to come into contact with the person that's manifesting you. That work that you have done you can be mad at yourself in an instant because you took the bait for something that was like not even up to your standards, not even worth your time. Like it's a lot of things that go into play with their protection. Like it's in some cases, this is protecting you from yourself. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that can't say no, those of you who don't know, who can't turn somebody down, you know what I'm saying? Or even just protecting the what you have done internally, you know, that right there, to me, the worst thing that I could do is fuck up everything that I have just built up by one stupid mistake. Or not, it's not even a mistake. It was a choice that I made that I knew wasn't to my highest and greatest good. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes me and my coworker had this conversation about, you know, relationships. And I was telling her, I was like, she was like, I just think that he was trying to be controlling. He was trying to control me because he doesn't want me to go out in the clothes that I had on, and he wants me to wear he wants me to wear these sweatpants because it was a video she was watching, and I was like, what you watching? And so we was looking at it, and I was like, well, why see it like that? Why not see it like he's protecting you from yourself? He's protecting you from things that you cannot see. Sometimes it's not always him trying to control you, but maybe he can see, he knows men. He knows how men think. Maybe he's trying to protect you, not control you. Like I was like, why y'all go straight to control? It was a whole conversation that we had at work about that, and they was not seeing my point. They was like, Mel, it's control. I was like, okay,
Yeah, it's not control, but then you have to raise up to a certain level of maturity in order to see it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are used to, I would say, hearing what other people have said about certain instances and just replicating saying that, it's just become redundant. Like if somebody said like, oh, he don't know, instead of seeing it from a different perspective and seeing and understanding from a higher spiritual perspective, because they aren't there yet, they're only going to see it as controlling. But the way that you dress, the way that you do your hair, the jewelry that you wear, the type of shoes, like everything about that creates a part of your auric field. And it also creates this vibrational energy. Like even if you go to the thrift store to get clothes, those clothes still hold on energy. Colors. I had a wellness event a few weeks ago, and I was telling them like the colors that you choose to wear in the day. I said sometimes I have to wake up and choose what I'm going to wear before. I can't always do it the night before, or if I do, I may wake up and change it because the colors are a part of the energy for that day. Like all of these are attractive frequencies to certain types of energies. And even though within the level of consciousness that the man may be in that you're with may not know, innate within him, he's sharing this with you because he knows what type of energy those clothes are giving off that's going to be bait for a particular mindset of a particular type of male energy. So what he's doing is not controlling, is more so of a foresight of I know because either I've been that man or I know because I got friends that's like that. Like this is, I just been around my uncles or cousins, they just already know, just like we know. Exactly. Just like we know. Like we know when a man doing certain things like, oh, a woman, you smell like this. Oh yeah. Like we already know that different pheromones attract men, different pheromones attract women. Like we know different colors and stuff attract me. Like it's just in us to understand this because that's why we were born masculine or feminine. So we're gonna know this. So listen to especially someone who has told you like, hey, we're together, we're in a relationship, we married, whatever the case may be. Like they're not trying to tell you anything that's going to control you. They're trying to tell you something to keep the relationship stronger that may not be temptation for somebody else. And it may not even be temptation for you. You may be somebody like, hey, sometimes it doesn't matter. But as women, and I always say this, and people can disagree with me if they want to, but if you're the feminine energy, if you're the woman, if this is where you are not as strong as masculine energy. What I'm saying is if you get caught out at the pump at night or somewhere by yourself, that masculine energy can dominate you. You don't want to get caught in a situation where you're trying to fight off a man because of what you have on. You don't want to be cognizant because it can go beyond. I've had people to stop me on the street driving, trying to follow me home. I had to pull over and just try to redirect where I was going. And this was years ago, but I'm just like, okay, I know that I was attracting, that energy was on me to be attracting these types of energy. So as I mature spiritually, it also matured my look and my aura. So your aura and your frequency is going to mature where it's like a force field, like I've said before. Like these type of motherfucking energies can't even touch it. All thing they can do is just see the queen. Hey, all hail the queen. I can't touch the queen, but I can say, I see little bums on the street. Won't even ask me for money, but they'll be like motherfucking the scene like a god. Like I had a man do that the other day. I was like, this man finna ask me for some money. I was like, oh my god, he finna ask me for some money or something. And I'm gonna have to tell him no because I ain't feeling it. And I had to feel it to get money.
Me too.
And he was like, hey, he was like, Have a great day. You know, he looked at me and he just did. I was like, what the hell? I was like, well, okay. Like, yeah, it's almost like a pope walking through the street. Like, okay, like, yeah, hello. Hi. Like, that's how it was. And he was literally like a homeless man on the street. But they know. So when you raise yourself up to a certain level or standard too, that you just don't get, and even when you go out, like I've had people go on the limb, you know, and they will try to get your number. You have to know how to respectfully, high frequency decline and appreciate the offer. Like I've got into a rhythm now where if they do come to me, and I know, you know, what my partnership and connection is. So for me, there is no temptation of anybody.
Yeah.
And so if somebody does come to me and somebody like, no, you know, I appreciate you. You know, you can have friends. Like, you know, that's the main thing. Y'all know they gonna say, you can't have no friends. Y'all, I just want to know. I don't need a friend because he is my friend. But I do appreciate you, you know, with the
I'll turn
compliment.
this shit around on their ass. Would you want your girlfriend to have a friend?
Yeah, and they'll say, yeah. Like I've used that before too. They don't care nothing about you. Their girlfriend, they'll say they married. I've had them say all types of things. So I don't even put it in their court of what they doing because what they're already trying to get with me. So anything that I say about what they got going on don't matter. I put it in my court, like, hey, what I'm not going to do because he is my friend and I love him. You know, I tell him straight up, be like, well, I'm not going to do it because he is my best friend and I love him. So I appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? But where I am, my relationship, I'm good. Like, I don't even need it. But thank you so much for the compliment. And I hope you have a great, wonderful day. And boo, bye. You know what I'm saying? And so that way, yeah, that way they know, like, hey, you know, she ain't with the bush. She ain't going, because if a man is going to get with you anyway, you know, you already know what he on. If he trying to get with you and you not already telling you with somebody, and he talking about, well, I got somebody too. So within a divine connection, that ain't even something that should even be like a topic of discussion. You know, that should be for someone who is in a less mature state of their spiritual walk. But I know Turquoise, and shout out Turquoise Majesty. Y'all follow Turquoise Majesty, my girl Keita. Y'all follow her page, her readings, definitely good, on point. One of the things that she stated in the intimacy is vital. She also talked about emotional freedom. So I do want to tap into that a little bit because that's important too. And I definitely get what she's talking about with the emotional freedom. Like, you don't want to, and this is mostly, I know, for men, but there could be women that feel like this too, just not me. Because I'm super lovey-dovey. But emotional freedom, I do feel like some men just want to have the freedom to be like, hey, I don't want to feel bound to feeling like I have to do something, or I know my partner has shared this with me before, like, I don't want to feel like I have to do, like, if he's like, why we just can't flow, if we go out this weekend, we may not go out next weekend, if we do this, we may do something on Wednesday, we may not do something Sunday. And I understand that they want that freedom. Men do want freedom to freely be able to do different things that they want to do. And especially with emotional, you know, they don't want to feel like they're in control, and you control, which we know we do anyway. But they don't want to feel like they're being like detained in some type of way. Like, for them, that feels like they're just being constricted, and they don't like that. They want to feel free. So the emotional freedom, I do get that. That's why I don't say anything as you need to, you have to, you know, you gotta, you have to, you gotta understand how to talk to the masculine. We've talked about this before, and even in times where if you need to channel, you need to channel until you get to a point where it freely flows on how to take this topic, such as emotional freedom, or how you may feel about them contacting you every day, and know how to really put it in terms where they won't feel like they're being forced, coerced, or made to, then it becomes nagging or mama like and all that kind of stuff. And they don't want that. So it always goes back to, well, it makes me feel like this when you do call me, or I feel blah, 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 blah when you don't. Like when I don't hear from you, like I share with him, I'm like, oh, if I don't hear from you, it makes me feel disconnected. I feel like anything can go on and it makes me feel alone. Because that's what he'll ask. He was like, well, how did that make you feel? He's gotten to the point to saying that now. Well, what's going on in your head? How does that make you feel? And I go into what it makes me feel like this when you don't do this. That's what men respond to. Like understanding, like, hey, this is what it's making me feel like. Then it makes them feel like, okay, I'm doing this to make her unhappy. I don't want her to be unhappy. I want her to be happy. So if I can just contact her every day, that'll make the relationship good and she happy. You know what I'm saying? Like in their mind, it has to be, what is going on? Like, how are you feeling? And then they can respond to that. But you have to, like, that's a repellent
Making me
for them. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, like that's a repellent. Like they don't want, like I don't need to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't got to do. Like anybody's gonna do that. Like I ain't got to do. What you mean? I got to do this? I have to do that? Like no, because you can even think about it from your perspective. If somebody comes to you and say you need to, you have to, and I won't. You know, like. But if they share, hey, for somebody that you care about, you cherish, and you love, and you're loyal to, you making me feel like this, or I feel like this, then you like, hey, well, I want to rectify this problem because I don't want him or her to feel like that. And then that's when it becomes more of, it's not so much of them not having the emotional freedom, it's me compromising because I want my partner to feel good and to feel comfortable. Or if it's not something they have to do every day, we may come to a compromise of, baby, on Tuesdays is a heavy workload for me. I have a lot going on. I may not be able to call you on Tuesdays because this, that, and the third. Yeah. At least we've already had this conversation to understand, oh yeah, on Tuesdays, he busy. I ain't gonna even I may shoot him a text message, something like that, but I know on Tuesdays he work all day and it's just a heavy workload for him. I'm not gonna bother him. But every day other than that, he good. Whatever it is, having that conversation, coming to a compromise so you all have an understanding. But if they never know and you never know how to tap into talking to them to get them to understand where you are, it may be even on Tuesday when he's busy, he's like, I may not be able to have a long conversation with you, but I'll call you and make sure. But we can't, because like me, I be wanting to stay on the phone for hours. And he was like, I know you won't stay on the phone for hours. Exactly. I already been out here for 2 hours. Like, I'm like, damn, you count the minutes. And he's like, well, I'm not a phone person. I was like, I know, baby. I appreciate you giving me 2 hours because I know for you, that's a lot. You don't even be on the phone with your mama that long. Like, you don't like talking to nobody that long, ever. So we both make compromises in a relationship. So that's all it is. Like with the emotional freedom, yes, everybody needs to have that emotional freedom. And if they don't, and there's no intimacy in the fact that somebody's feeling, constricted, made to, or suffering just because to make the other person happy. And that's when you get into someone is in a relationship is over here bending backwards and they're not happy and they're not saying nothing because the other person is making it all about their wants, their needs, their desires. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's good to know what's the wants and needs, the desire of party A, what's the wants, the need, desires of party B. Now, let's talk about that so we can come to a compromise of what it looks like on both ends and what we can do to make sure that everybody is happy. And we revisit this. We come back and this ain't something that, okay, once we talk about it, that's it. No, this is something that needs to be revisited. And I'm the type person, like, if I feel like my wants, my needs, and desires aren't being met to the way that I feel they should be, or there's some lacking or slacking on party B's part, then I'm gonna bring it to the awareness. I'm be like, hey, I feel blah, 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 blah because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And this is a delicate situation for me. And when it's delicate, it makes me feel like this. And as my man, I want you to da 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 and have this conversation. And then we talk about it. We have to sometimes saying things one time, ain't nobody gonna get it one time. Some do. But and in some situations, she will, but not all the time. So revisiting conversations every few months I like having conversation. I'm a talk. You gonna know. You don't know. This is how you handle me. Like you should have no inkling of I didn't know. Like now you gonna know.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of another thing that needs to be addressed within that same kind of dynamic is knowing when your partner isn't saying that they are like in a place. You know what I'm saying? This is why we are saying this, because a lot of men don't communicate what it is that they need, or they don't communicate when they are trying to work something out on their own. They may be in a place where they are depressed, don't know that they're depressed. They may be in a place where they're going through something mentally. And what I have noticed within my partner is that separation makes the heart grow fonder, right? And one thing it does during separation, it helps you to realize what you have missed because you have been so engulfed in your partner. And so one of the things that I was thinking about a couple of weeks back was that I know I saw the signs that my partner was going through something, but I never really stopped to say, "Hey, are you okay?" Like I never really stopped to just be like, "Are you like?" He was going through something mentally, and it just now is hitting me. It just now hit me a couple of weeks ago where I'm thinking like, oh shit, he was going through something, because I started thinking about his hygiene, and I started thinking about like, not saying like he had kind of like completely lost himself, but there were certain things that I know that he does on a regular basis that he wasn't doing anymore. And I was just like, what is going on? And I was thinking to myself, like, I didn't honestly know what to think about it. So I kind of like moved past it. And now that I was thinking back, because I've been like in a season of rest, like deep rest. Like everything is about rest and recuperating, because whatever we being prepared for is something is coming, and I'm just in this place until I'm called to do something else, right? And so this is my reflection time. And so I just started thinking back, like, okay, he showed me the signs that he was going through something mentally that he was not expressing outward. Maybe he didn't know how to express it. Maybe he didn't know, like, just like I said before, if I don't have a solution to the problem, he may have felt like, it wasn't important enough for him to say or discuss. And these are the reasons why we be so heavy on this communication thing, is because I might not see it right off. And then once I do see it, I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was going through something major, but just off of the habits that I saw him partake in. I'm just like, this is like, this is not how you usually would respond. This is not how you usually, like, he had fear going on in his mind. Like I was like, I was able to replay back the fear, the the mental struggle that he was going through, that he just wasn't expressing outwardly, and it was coming out in his demeanor. It was coming out in, him not doing things that he usually would do. It just was coming out in different various ways, and I just didn't understand at the time. I didn't understand. I was so engulfed in, the fact that we was so close that I missed the fact that he was going through something, that he was needing some type of healing, or going through some type of healing within himself. And so now that I've had that reflection time, and I've had, like, I can go back to those things, like you said, revisit it and have this conversation, like, and be like, he was able to see that the fact that I gained weight was because of stress, right? But I was not able to fully see the fact that he was going through something internally. So I wasn't present in my body. You get what I'm saying? So me not being present within myself at that time, focusing more on the outward, not focused on the internal, that was another thing that got me to understanding about the separation and the coming back together, because you miss things. And so once I came into that little download, I was like, oh, okay. So this was like a chain of events that has now happened. And I was like, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. Now, what is the solution to this? And for me, it is what you are exactly talking about. It is the checking in, is being present. A lot of times within the divine connection, something is, when you're present and you're actually like fully in your power, or fully in within yourself, knowing yourself, that something is off. You can feel when something is off, something is not right. But when you are more focused on the building the outward, the reality, the outward part of the connection, then that's where you kind of lose some of your power, and you kind of miss things that are happening. So that check-in is good. Like, it's check-in. It's like, I'm not trying to impose on your space. I'm not trying to be your savior, or, you know what I'm saying? But what I am saying is that this is a safe place for you. This is a safe space. I'm creating that safe space for you to be able to communicate these things to me, so so you don't have internal turmoil within yourself, and I think that that's important, that we as divine feminines, we are checking on our mates on a regular basis, just to make sure that they aren't going through something that they're not telling you about. Something could be very personal, or something they may feel like makes them look small, or makes them not look like a man. It could be 1,000 different reasons. I feel like you would want me to communicate this to you versus me not caring at all, me missing the mark every time. You get what I'm saying? So what you're saying is very important, for us to have that intimate connection with each other. There may be something that I miss. I'm just trying to make sure that you're okay today. You're not calling me today. That may be because you went through a whole lot of things today. I don't know nothing about it. I just want to know, like, or I can feel something in my body, feel like, okay, something is not right. And in my mind, it's constantly reminders of you popping up. Get your pillow. He's just creeping around like but it could be like, how your intuition will kick in and tell you certain things, but it doesn't tell you exactly what's going on. Okay, it's my job to figure out, like, okay, what is happening. Go throw that plate in the trash. Thank you. Get your pillow. And so It's important for us to do those check-ins, to just be like, okay, how are you today? It takes nothing for you to respond. Like, even if you going through something, and as a masculine male, you going through something internally, right? Even if you say, my mind is all over the place today, I just need some time to just work it out. Okay, that makes me feel like, okay, well, now I know what to do. I can sit in my bed and I can send you healing vibes. I can send you love. I can ask for you to gain the clarity that you need. This is a role that I play within this partnership. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't always have to be us sitting face to face, airing out, everything that's on your mind. It doesn't always have to be in that way. But when you inform me, I can do what I do best, which is be within my feminine power. And I can send you that healing energy. I can send you those loving vibes to let you know that you are loved, you know what I'm saying? And that you are, just anything, whatever mantra comes to my mind that you need at that time, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to recite it energetically, and you're going to receive it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like some men have a block up when it comes to, it kind of feels sometimes like ego is like, I just need to work it out myself. I just need to do it all. I need to work this out myself. I'll figure it out. That's ego. That's ego. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to let go, and now you don't have to tell me everything. But at least just let me know, like, okay, I'm not feeling it today. I done had a hard day. I'm just finna go to sleep. I don't feel like really being bothered today. I can take that without being emotional. But what I can take is that you holding back from me what is, when I'm asking you, are you okay? And you're saying you're okay, but your demeanor says that you're not. Like, that's the thing that I can't take, is you being, you know what I'm saying you're one way, but you're acting a different way. That right there, that doesn't help our relationship or our connection at all.
Exactly. And I had to get to a point of sharing with him that, something's going on. What I'm saying? Like, and then I got to the point, like, you can tell it, either the sound of the voice, like, I know we'd be on the phone, I'm just like, your voice sound like you kind of irritated, or, I don't know if you're tired, I don't know if you're irritated, I don't know if what's going on. I was like, but I hear some, no, I'm good. I was like, nah, I'm hearing something. And I don't know what it is. I said, something off with your energy right now.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Like, I'm feeling it. And so even with me, like, he'll be something that I'm upset about or something like that. He'll say the same damn thing. He'll be like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Like, I know something going on. Like, nah, like, you can't. And even in the way that I text sometimes, like, he'll be able to pick up. So, and that's another thing. Like, let's say, like you just said, it could be your mate has had a bad, rough day. You ain't heard from him all day, you know. Then I had to get into this understanding as well, because he brought it to my awareness, and you ain't heard from him. And I was just like, okay, I ain't heard from him. He ain't call, he ain't text me. And when I talked to him the next day, I'll be like, you ain't called me yesterday, like, la 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 la. He was like, well, why you ain't call me? Like, why you ain't text me?
Yeah.
And I had to think about it, and I was like, well, I was waiting for you to call me, but you could have called. You always can call me. You always can say. And I thought about it. I was like, okay, it's not just on him to do all the work either. Like, this is a partnership. And I had to think about, like, in a partnership, both parties are partnering in order to make the relationship work and grow. So even sometimes it could be something that he don't really want to talk about, but because he ain't heard from me, he ain't gonna talk about it. And so he may feel like, I don't care, or I got something going on, or it's all about me. So I had to bring myself into a space where, okay, let me start texting him first before he texts me in the morning. Let me, if I get up and think about it first, let me be the one to send a message out first and be like, I hope you have a great day, and then check up on him later on. I don't know. Something could be going on where I need to do it. And then some days when my energy is low and he feel it, he gonna do it first. Like, we should be able to feel when you get to a space where you're in a connection, you should be able to feel your partner and kind of understand like, I'm feeling this energy. Let me just shoot him a text message and kind of see, hey, what's going on? How's your day going? Not to insinuate anything, but kind of just to get a feel of what's going on. You may get like, hey, oh, my day going good. Like, everything going with you? Like, yeah. Or you may get, oh my God, they just had this, that, and the third happen, or a wreck was over here, and I just was driving past and saw everything, and I'm in shock. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get because this person is playing on your energy or your spirit. Then just listen to that. And I used to be in a space where I just be like, he need to call me. He need to text me. Like, why you ain't call me? Why you ain't tell? I got all this lineup of why you ain't.
Yeah.
Like, why you ain't? And then he brought it to my awareness. Was like, why you didn't? And I was like, I don't know. I had no answer on why I didn't. I don't know. Like, I should have, huh? And so I'm just like, okay, well, let me do it sometimes. It's not fair that everything has to be centered around you doing all the work, because he says always on me. He said, you put everything on me. Like, I gotta be the one to call, I gotta be the one to come on, I gotta be the one to I gotta be the one to do this and do that and do this. And he was like, why you can't? And I was like, yes. I had to really reflect on myself and think about when I say partnership, when I say team. When I say team and we a team, and when I say partnership, that doesn't mean it's him team and it's him doing the work and it's him doing it has to be on me too.
Yeah.
So just thinking about that, it made me reflect and like, okay, like I've even been upset about some things that he didn't do, but it was only because I didn't reach out, or I didn't call, or I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
So I had to say, let me be the initiator sometime. It's okay if you the initiator sometime and he the initiator sometime, and then vice versa. And then sometimes it's gonna be all him, and sometimes it's gonna be all you, and then sometimes it's gonna be like, oh, this being balanced, so it just happens like that. But I think that it's important to, like you said, you weren't even reflecting on the fact that he was going through this mental turmoil because you just hadn't picked up, you just didn't know. And that was one of the things that I do. Like, I'll probe, and he know I'm a prober, because I want to know, are you okay? That's my biggest thing that I ask. I'm like, how are you? Are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, what's like really, how do you, well, I'm only asking because I care, and I just want to be here for you. If you need me, just let me know, and then we can work on it together, because we a team, so when I share like that, then even when he don't want to like tell me what's going on, he'll go ahead and break down and be like, okay, well, this, that, and the third. And he said, I appreciate you. I appreciate you caring. I appreciate you, your concern. And I'm like, yeah, I'm concerned because I love you and I want to know and I want to make sure that you're okay. Like, it's my job to make sure that you're okay, and so sometimes men won't say that they want or need that type of affection, care, and love and attention, but they crave it and they want it. And they need it, and especially with somebody that they love and they feel safe with. Yeah. So instead of me not saying it, let me tell him how much I care. I care about how you're feeling. I care about your health. I care about your mental well-being. Like, even like I tell him, like, I'm asking, like, he was like, what you mean how I'm doing? I'm like, I say, I'm not talking about physical, like you got a cold. I'm talking about emotional, mental. Like, how are you? Like, what type of mental space are you in today? I said, I just want to make sure that you're okay and that you're good. Like, this is part of us connecting. So when we talk about, them contacting or you contacting, this is all the conversations that should be had when you reach out, when you text. Open conversation. This should all be a part of what's going on for you this gets you to understand those things that may not be verbalized. You get to learn your partner's nonverbal communication as well. You get to learn your partner's text message language when things may not be so good or they may be so. You get to learn the demeanor when you're face to face of when things are so great. Like you can pick up on it, you can feel it, and you know, hey, when they do their eyes like this, something's going on. He just don't want to share it right now. And if he say, and if you feel it, don't probe, don't push, let it go. Come back to it at a later time, maybe even that day or the next day, and then ask about it. But if it's fresh and you feel it right then, sometimes I don't go into, I'm just like, I'm just gonna let it fizzle down a little bit. I'm gonna let us do some other things today, and then I'm gonna come back to it later on when he's got more of it out and worked out. And then I can figure out rather than come to him right now when it's so fresh. And this is not like how he likes to communicate. Because see, once he's already told me he don't like to communicate when he's trying to work things out, I ain't gonna push him to tell me until he's comfortable in telling me when he's worked things out. Maybe he's not comfortable right now within a relationship to do that now. He may be comfortable 6 months from now, a year from now to do that then, but maybe right now he may not be comfortable to do that with me right now. I'm not gonna push him to do that. I'm going to kind of let it fizzle and then come back and revisit it. Be like, I felt yesterday that, something was going on and I just don't know. And the way that you was acting, I'm just trying to make sure that everything's okay. Are you okay? Are you good? Is there anything that you need me to do? What you need? Do you need anything from me? Like, what is it that I can do? Is there anything that I can do? I just want to be here to help you, support you because I love you and I care. And so when you come to them like that with a genuine heart that you really want to be their teammate, because sometimes other person may not have had a teammate. Sometimes another person may not have a genuine partnership. So they may not even recognize or understand how this feels or what it even looks like. This could be some brand new territory for them that you're offering up that they might not even know how to even take it. This may be like, goddamn, like for real, like she my teammate, like she said this shit, like you know what I'm saying? Like they have to start to integrate it into them, and that's why I say it all the time because I'm saying, oh, we're a partnership, we're a team. I'm saying it all the time, so in his head he can get this is a partnership, this is a team. This is a partnership. This is a team. It's just like we do mantras and affirmations. If you're saying this constantly to yourself and to your partner, you're saying it energetically as well. So now, once it gets integrated fully into their system, just like when we get downloads, then at that point, they'll feel free more to share on the on-site of when things happen. But don't always look for things to happen right then and there just because you stated it, y'all have had a few conversations about it. Give it time to integrate into their system. Use words to make them comfortable, like I do, like teammate, partnership, connection, whatever. We're together. We in this, da 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 da. Or it makes me feel, or I love you. Start to throw those words at them so it really gets into their system, so they understand who you are and what you're here for. And then you'll see the dynamic of them. Oh, okay. I can share more now. They may not share everything, but they may start sharing when it would have been 2 weeks, they'll share a week. And then go from a week to 3-4 days after, and then they may start sharing the same day of. But it takes them time to get into the space of being comfortable to understand what it actually is. But it also takes your work of understanding your witchcraft on how to really push that dynamic integrated into their system so they can understand and then be able to feed off of it, so you all can build this tighter bond and connection of them sharing one-on-one when it happens instantly. And that's when hey, this not only is my divine connection and partnership, but this is also my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are friends. Like, we friends, right? Like, I even use that, like, we friends. Like, like, you can share with me.
And as women, as divine feminines, we have to learn how to not because you have masculine men, just like you said, that maybe don't know what it feels like to be in a partnership, a real partnership. Maybe they don't know what it really feels like to have a teammate. Maybe they have never experienced that, and this is their first time experiencing. One thing is divine feminine. One thing that I have had to learn is that sometimes you have to leave your emotions at the door. When the masculine decides that he wants to open up, this could have been a process of where he has had to think about this. He's been wanting to share this with you, but he has had to think about how to say it, because usually when he says something, it doesn't come out the right way, or we immediately get emotional about it. We go into what woe is me or something like that. And so as divine feminine, when the masculine feels, and this could be at any random time, it could be random as hell, okay, that he decides that he wants to open up, and what comes out of his mouth and what he starts to communicate may not make sense to you. It may sound like a bunch of judgment. It may sound like, because he doesn't know how to put the words into place like like we feel like the masculine should be able to. He may not understand that what he's saying, it may be coming out harshly, and that goes back to learning how to handle each other as well. But also, as divine feminines, we have to learn how to not be so emotional when our man is saying something to us. Sometimes, like I saw yesterday, where this girl said she was given a transmission, and she said, for those of you who know how to read between the words, you are very powerful beings, right? And usually I'm very good at reading between the words, right? But once your emotions get involved, once you feel like you're being attacked, once you know what I'm saying, once all that happens, all of that shit goes out the motherfucking window, and then it has to come back to you in your reflection time, right? So as divine feminines, we need to learn how to sometimes it's necessary for us to leave our emotions at the door. Sometimes we need to lead with intuition versus leading with emotion. When it comes to these masculines, they may not know how to express what they are feeling. It may come out in a way that you are not expecting for it to come out. And sometimes it's not because they are passing judgment on you, or they are, trying to attack you in any way. Sometimes this some shit that's been going on in my head, and I gotta go on and get this shit out so I can stop fucking thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? And so it may come out, it may come in the most random time, and it may come out in the worst way. But when you this goes back to what a couple of episodes back where we were talking about how that what your masculine is, where it's coming from a place of love. If you put the love in the forefront and realize that this is coming from a place of love, before you allow yourself to get triggered, you need to ask yourself, why am I being triggered by what he is saying? Show me. You internally, you are saying to yourself, show me what he is really saying so that I can understand it clearly. You have the power to do these things versus using your emotion to get him to understand that what he just said hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it wasn't meant to hurt you. I had my masculine be like, well, I didn't yell at you. I didn't cuss you out. I didn't call you out your name. I'm just trying to figure out why you are upset. Like, why are you crying? Because what he said was, it triggered me emotionally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the audacity. You know what I'm saying? But what he was really trying to say came back in reflection time. And I'm like, oh, okay. So basically what you were saying is you have a fear of this, but you didn't want to say in your manly voice that that's a fear of yours. And I get it. Okay, I understand that you were explaining your fears, but didn't know how to explain them. So as we grow and we keep building these connections, as we do the trial and error with what works, what doesn't work, as we continue to, build this kingdom or this empire or this, this great connection that is supposed to help to create balance within this realm, right? We as divine feminines have to learn how to control those emotions and allow him, especially if he feels safe enough. Don't ruin the safety.
Exactly.
It's hard to get back. It's hard to retract back from that once you have broken that safety code. Because if you're crying, he doesn't feel safe anymore to express himself, and you don't feel safe anymore because now you have allowed what he said to trigger you instead of reading between the words. My mama used to always say, read between the lines. I used to say that to my daddy all the time. When they would be playing around, she'd be like, read between the lines. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's necessary for us to read between the words that are being said. If you are triggered and you are emotional, you cannot read what is actually being said to you. Instead, you are viewing it as an attack. You are viewing it as, a reason for you to express yourself emotionally, when that is not needed all the time. At this time, when these things are being expressed to you, let's say your masculine does open up, let's not lead with the emotion, but let's lead with the heart. You want to open up your heart so that you can receive what the masculine is trying to tell you. You don't want to, if you go in with your heart closed, you can't receive what he's actually trying to say. I have seen video after video. I've also witnessed this in my own situation, where the man will be saying, and I can, if it's somebody else, I can see like what the man is saying. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what he's saying. He not really, shaming her or nothing like that. But the feminine will take it as, she will immediately put up her guard. Like, she will immediately lead with nastiness or emotion. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we as divine feminines can work on, is being able, if you want to create a safe space for your masculine, and make sure that the space is safe, so that you don't, we are not creating that separation again with the emotional part. Like, we just talking, like Black Wish said, we just talking. That's what we doing. We just talking. We should be able to have a conversation without either party just getting upset, creating a divide, creating a separation, people putting walls up. We should be able to do this without we should be able to have these safe conversations without being triggered in a
I want
way.
to talk about
Yeah.
that right there. That crying. I want to say something about that and I got a call. But the crying, like, and I used to do it too. And it depends on, and this is where we have to understand, we have to pick our battles with the cry.
Yeah.
Because I'm sensitive and I'm a water sign too. And I have to, because I know, like, crying, I'm trying to make sure that I explain this properly. Like, crying shows signs of weakness, right? However, it also shows signs of vulnerability, because you can cry. However, in certain instances, depending upon what it is, this ain't for everything. So I'm trying to explain this for certain instances, because I know I would be the type of person that would cry about it all to get him to care about as much as I care. Like, I want you to care as much as I care, so I'm going to cry. I'm talking about in those types of instances. No, don't do it. So, feminine energies. What we want to do is be able to communicate effectively. Say, so if it's instances, and I had this happen to me a few weeks ago where I was about to cry, I was going to cry, but I didn't. I held off on what I had to say, let it pass. I let the cry part kind of pass through me, because it has to kind of pass through you. Even if it has to be a moment of just quietness, just give me a minute, or if he talking, good, let him talk, whatever, because I'm talking, like, I wasn't even listening. I was into me and making sure that I didn't cry. So I was trying to get that energy through. And then once he got finished talking or whatever, I was ready. Like, it was like in that instance where I had really, what happened is transmuting that energy. That's all it is. So you're taking that emotion that makes you want to cry, or whatever it is that have triggered you. You take that and you transmute it into a powerful way to get them to understand where you're coming from and how they have affected where you are and how you feel. So what I was able to do is take that, translate it into words, because crying, and when you cry, you're emotional, you really don't have the words to say effectively to get them to understand. So only thing they saying is you crying. So I'm just like, okay, he ain't gonna
like,
understand.
I didn't even hit her. Like, I didn't even hit her.
That's exactly what they feel like. They're not gonna understand crying. So when I started to speak, and I was looking at him dead in his eyes, and I started to speak, and I was shared the words and what to say, and I knew it was the words that I was supposed to say, because he couldn't say nothing. He leaned his head over. The only thing that he had to do, only thing he could do, was just listen. Because I'm just like, okay, I've sparked something. Okay. So that's one of the things that we have to learn to do in certain situations, not every situation, but in certain situations, we have to learn how to effectively transmute the energy of that emotion that makes us want to cry, and then ask for whatever words that need to be spoke within that moment to talk to them energetically so they can understand the emotions of what you're feeling right now. So you have to learn how to translate emotions into words that they understand, because the emotions and crying, they don't understand it. They, like you said, why ain't hit you? Like, he don't understand your emotions. So I got to be able to interpret my emotions to you in verbal words so you can actually get it, and then understand what you need to do as my mate, as my man, in order for me not to feel this and have this emotion. And then what you actually did that triggered me to have this type of emotion that makes me want to cry. And you can even tell them, like, I really want to cry right now, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from in order to make this better and make this work. Like, you got to understand what I'm feeling, and then be able to verbalize that and interpret that in words. But I know all situations aren't the same, because it may be sometimes where it don't matter. Like, I gotta cry, like, point blank, period. And then maybe after I finish crying, I can talk, and then I can share, and now I can tell you what's going on. That's why I say it ain't gonna happen for every instance, because every instance ain't the same. But at least sometimes it shouldn't be like I was doing, like every time shouldn't be a cry, but at least sometimes you should be able to internalize it, and then allow whatever they done that's triggered you. And then, like you said, in the reflection time, like, damn, why was that a trigger? Like, what is it that was stated or said or done that made that a trigger for me, that maybe I need to look at a little bit deeper, because it was stated for me to do this work. Because that's all relationships are. Like, things that somebody say, things that somebody does, it's only triggers for you to go back and do some work on you. And so you have to look at it from that standpoint as well. And sometimes, like in the moment, it's hard. Like I ain't talking about in the
Mhm.
moment because what happened? Oh, I'll turn TV back on. Usually in the moment, like who is that talking? Usually in the moment, it's hard to even understand these things because you've been hit with it so much. And that time it's like, okay, I'm not used to it. But once you start doing it on a regular basis, just like anything else, it becomes autopilot. Be like, this is how I need to deal with this right now. This is how I need to talk to his
Mhm.
ass right now. This is the word. This is what I need to do because he ain't gonna get it if I don't say nothing. He ain't gonna get it if I just cry. He ain't gonna get it if my voice shaking. Like, let me stand up for myself. Let me be my
Mhm.
own advocate. Like, I'm going to defend myself, and you need to understand why I'm feeling like this, so you
Mhm.
can make the necessary changes. So I don't, and that goes into practice because I'm still practicing on getting that because sometimes if I hold my emotions in too long and I don't share, I get sick. Like
Mhm.
I'll vomit. I literally will vomit. Like I had times where he'd
Mhm.
be like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm sick." Like because I'm not sharing. Like I got to get it out. So vibrationally, like either the vibration of the words have to come out or the energy is going to come out and vomit because either way my physical form and my spirit
Mhm.
is not going to house this energy. It got to come out. So that's just how I am. Like I'm such a water energy that this shit be like, you either gonna say it and it's gonna come out or it's gonna come out. Like either
And
way,
you know,
it's gonna come out.
it's how you say it as well, because I like how you said translate, right? I love that. And if you can tell, I have changed the tone of my voice. So when we say translate as feminine energies, just like how a man can keep the same tone when he talks to you, you be like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can also keep this tone when you talking to your mate. It causes them to go into a trance. Like we have
Mm-hmm.
this ability to, and
Mm-hmm.
I took when the girl that locks my loctician, her boyfriend, he gets and they're in the divine partnership too, which is a dynamic. Like I'm that's a whole nother show. But he sometimes
Another show.
they sometimes like as um as who is, as somebody who has been going down the journey of knowing thyself and knowing who I am. Sometimes he will come and when she comes to do my hair or whatever. This last time he gave me he gave me a couple of mushroom caps. And he was like, sis, I just want you to try them. He was like, I know you got somebody, but I just want you to try them. And I'm like, okay, well, okay, I'll try them, it can't hurt. And so during that, um, during while she did my hair, I had went on ahead and I ate them so I could tell him what I thought about him by the time he got back. Now, when after I ate them, I was like, okay, this, but I said, I say my little intention for the mushrooms, and my intention was to connect with my divine feminine energy. That was my intention for the caps of the mushroom. And so I started kaleidoscoping, I started doing all of that. Once I started that, I could see, I was sitting there with my eyes closed and I was, kaleidoscoping. I was seeing these goddesses dance around like that. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, I'm seeing something different now, you know. And I was like, okay. I was like, it must have been time because, you know, I don't take nothing from nobody else. So it was like it had to have been time. And so the channeling that came out while she was doing my hair, and I'm just like, you know, she was expressing some of her some of, you know, some of her concerns that she had within her partnership. And I was just telling her, I was like, you know, one thing that you have to realize about yourself is that you are the bag. And as just like he feels like he's the bag, you are the bag as well. And he will never fumble you. You know, I was like, you know, giving her these, it was like my energy was telling me through my channeling, but it was like the mirror effect telling me at the same time. And it wasn't like in a cocky way or anything like that. It was I was telling her, I was like, use the tone of your voice, translate it to him. And then that's when I was like, oh, translate. And then it was like, oh, okay. So it puts him in a trance, not in like a negative way, but it gives you a pathway to talk directly to his consciousness to where he would be able to understand what you are saying. So instead of where I would usually raise my voice and we would go tit for tat, you know, saying our words back and forth, now I'm in a state where I'm literally translating to him. So as he talks, and he's just like he's trying to relay a message that he can't quite get out, or he can't, like, he doesn't know how to quite say what it is he needs to say in order for me to understand what he's saying. Just like I have to read between the words. In this instance, as the divine feminine energy, I have a direct channel to his masculine energy by keeping that tone, by changing the tone of my voice, by not trying to talk so fast, by not trying to make my point. But what I'm doing is I'm relaxing his mind, I'm relaxing his body with that frequency that I'm emitting through the you know the channels of my voice, and I'm basically giving him what it is that he needs in this moment, which is encouragement, which is me saying, you know, instead of me talking about what I feel like he's saying, or, you know, you making me feel like you attacking me. Instead, I'm saying, well, you know, you are such a wonderful partner. You know, I really appreciate what you just told me. I really appreciate how you are expressing yourself. So this is what you're saying. Because I have now dropped down into my feminine energy versus being on defense mode, I've now dropped into offense, and now I'm like, okay, so this is what you're saying. You're saying that you have a fear of this, and this is my chance to make him feel secure in what he's saying, make him feel secure with what he is bringing to the table. Like, some men don't feel like they are worthy of the partnership. They don't feel like they are worthy. That some of them don't feel, may look at your reality and be like, how am I supposed to be useful in this reality? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? How can I help her? They may not know how to do it, and they may have all of this turmoil within them, but the sound of my voice gives them a sense of freedom. Now, and I use this on my kids. I use this to people on the phone that I'm talking to with customer service. I use this when a feminine energy is upset at me. Usually with the feminine energy, it makes them a little bit more upset because I'm not upset, but they have an understanding that we're not on the same page with what you're saying. But I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate what you're saying. And, you know, it makes them upset that you're not getting upset with them because they want to be upset. You see what I'm saying? But they don't have a choice but to calm down. And they don't have a choice but to now listen to the sound of my voice. It's like it's like those recordings where you say, okay, you are listening to the sound of my voice. And you know, you start to hear the mantra start to play, or you start to hear the meditation start to play. It's like your voice becomes meditation and a trance for the energy that you're speaking to, because now I have a direct contact. Now I'm directly talking to the energy that is coming, that is either talking to me, or I'm talking directly to your consciousness. Now you have to hear me. You can't, like, you don't even want to speak because you're so entranced by my voice. I'm not trying to control you, but what I'm trying to do is get you to understand what you're saying too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like that. I love translate. I love that. I love that because that's what it is. Translation is you literally being being a channel to what it is directly. You're not going all over. You are directly talking to this source within this person, and you are
Mm-hmm.
getting the understanding. And they are so entranced that they don't. Their body is so calm when you saying it and when you doing it that they don't even realize what is going on.
Because it's soul to soul. It's like it's
So,
from divine energy to divine energy. And I like what you said, like trans, just trans. Like I
yes,
love that. Like I'm putting you in a hypnosis state
yes,
through my tone, my words, and I'm directly receiving downloaded information on what to say to you. And that's why I take time to be like, I'm not going to be in my emotions. I'm going to
mm-hmm.
transmute this energy
Yes,
within me so I can be able to translate it directly to you. And you can't do nothing but take it. And
yes,
even when we're saying words, that's spells. So we're really doing a whole spell on them to put them into a state of hypnosis so it can be integrated
it's
into their
healing.
system so they
Yes,
can know, hey,
yes.
this is what we're doing.
She
This is
understands it.
exactly. Now she know how to communicate to me effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Like now we really it's not that's why I said when you're in a divine connection and a high frequency connection, like you are receiving divine information on how to really connect with your divine partner. This is not something that you're just doing all within yourself, egotistical. This is something that's coming from the divine source energy. And all you got to do is know how to, like you said, direct channel. Only thing you need to know how to do is how to receive that direct channel. You need to know how to put yourself in the direct alignment. So, how do I put myself direct alignment? Allow yourself to transmute that energy. Like, I don't even, when I get into a conversation or a discussion, like, I have to even just sit back. If it's something that I know I'm getting real emotionally attached to, I have to like step back, let them talk because I'm like, if I say something right now, it's going to be all me. It's going to be all me. And this is not what I want to say. Let me take my time and receive what it is that I need to say directly to him and not let it be of me. Because if it's of me, it's not going to come out right. It's going to be all mumbled or jumbled or not make sense. And he going to be like, what is she talking about? Let me step out of myself and let me step into my divine self. Because the divine self sits on this high priestess type of energy, and she gonna know exactly what to do, what to say, and he gonna know exactly how to take it in, integrate it, and
Mm-hmm.
maneuver it, and allow it to be a part of what he needs to do moving forward in this relationship. And like I
Yeah.
said, just learning how to handle. Like
You're
we don't
touching
know
it
within
so well.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know within ourselves like how to really work with this type of connection. And that's why we said before, like, these are divine connections, these are divine partnerships. So if they're divine, you need to hear from the divine so
Yes.
you can know what you
Yes.
need to do in this
Yes.
connection. This
Yes.
is not like any other,
Yes.
right? And even if and I feel like our energy is just so powerful. Like
It
we have
is.
no
It
clue
is.
how powerful it is.
Translate,
Like,
transmute. Like that is
yes,
power.
like no matter what's going on or where your relationship is at any point in time, like we have so much power to change it from shit being so fucked up to shit being the most successful, loving, like almost like fairy tale connection that you can get because that's the experience that we want. Like whatever it is, the experience that you want to be in an alignment with, you create that. Like I was talking about this like a few days ago, I don't remember what. Mom just like, if you want that connection that is a divine partner that is loving towards you above all things, then create that shit for yourself. If you
Yes.
want that partner that listens to you, that understands you, that you all can connect and talk about anything, create that shit. Like we have the power, this witches and warlocks, like we have the power to create whatever type of connection that we want with our partner. Only thing we have to do is visualize it, think about it, and feel it, and it's done. Like if this is what we want, like we already been talking about, we in the energy of just creating whatever we want. So it's like if this is what you want, like you put that energy out there, and then she gonna come back to you, and it's gonna come back to you strong. Like, damn, okay, you said you wanted this. Like, here it go. Like this is what you said you wanted. Like, boom, I'm gonna give it to you. Like the universe is gonna give it to you, especially when you're in alignment and you giving so much love out to other people, to strangers, to friends, to family members, to that partner. And you may be like, damn, what's going on? Like, you don't know. Maybe he's not being able to fully reciprocate right now because he could be going through a dark night of the soul right now. He could be going through some internal work that he doesn't even know how to explain to you during that time. That is like, okay, he's going through that. Like, look at it like, okay, he's going through his spiritual evolution, his spiritual awareness right now. He's not understanding, and maybe he can communicate that effectively right now is really why he's not able to share as much right now, but I feel it. So allow that to happen so you can get to a point, because these connections aren't like anything we've seen on fairy tale TVs that we've heard from it. Like these connections are so powerful.
It's real work.
It's real work, and it's really powerful. And it's like, calling it in, like just really, because I've gotten to an energy of just calling in so much of what I want and just standing on it. Like, I'm not going to waver on this because this is what I know I am, and this is what I know I deserve, and this is what I know my worth is. So I'm standing on this wholeheartedly. No matter what, I'm going to receive it. So it's like, it's one of the meditations I believe Reiki Rachel did, where she went into taking us to the timeline that we want. And in that she said, throughout, whenever you think about it, just say, I'm here now.
I'm here now.
And so I'd have got into just whatever I'm looking to manifest. Like I think about it, and then I just be like, or I say it, and I'd be like, okay, I'm here now. Like whatever I want to do, I say it, I feel it, I think about it, and I say, I'm here now. Like it's here. Like I'm here now. Like whatever it is, I'm trying to bring it. Okay, I'm here now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the energy.
I'm not separated from it no more.
No more. Like I'm here now. Like, and I love that. Like that just stuck with me when she said, I'm here now. Yeah. I'm like, shit, that's all I need.
That's all I be thinking about.
Like, that's it. I'm here now.
I listen to that meditation. That's when, after I listened to that meditation, that's when I drove. I'm in the second lane, like it's the turn lane, lane, and then I'm in the middle lane. I'm in the middle lane. All I did was think, damn, I should have got over and I need to be over there in that lane. That's all I thought about. I'm fully aware. I know how sometimes you can zone out and then be at home, be like, damn, how'd I get here?
Exactly.
Even then I feel like it's timeline jumping too. But I'm like, okay, I should have got over there in that lane. By the time that light turned green, I was in that lane. I'm thinking to myself, how the hell did I get up? It was a car beside me, so there's no way that I could have moved over. Like it was a black car beside me, and I saw it when it pulled up, and it was a truck in front of that car. Now I'm in front of the truck. I'm behind the truck, and I'm thinking to myself, like, how the fuck did I get over here? I'm asking my sister, I'm like, how did I get over here? And she was like, I don't know, but you definitely was in the middle lane. I'm thinking to myself, like, I said, girl, that is some spooky shit. And I was looking for the black car. I'm looking around the car. It's like, now where the black car go? I look behind me, the black car not behind me. I'm like, okay, now this is some crazy. I was like, okay, I'm here now. That's all I can
Exactly.
think. Like,
I'm
I'm
here
here
now.
now.
I'm
That's it.
here now. That's
Like,
it. I'm here now.
manifesting like that. I'm here
Yeah.
now. Not
I'm
thinking, not
here
doubting or nothing.
now.
Like, but I know where I was. I know I was in that middle lane. I know I was there.
I'm here now.
Yes.
So no matter what, like whatever's going on, like take that because I'm here now has been just a whole new, this is my mantra for like this that covers all my, it's almost like I am
Yeah.
because it is the I am here now. She's just saying I'm here now, but it's I am here now. So it's a powerful like mantra because it's the I am. So it covers it all. So whatever you want, you think you feel like it's now. Like and
Mhm.
it's and I love it because it's also keeping you within the present moment. Like it's
Yeah.
not saying it's coming, it's not saying it's future, it's not
That's
saying it's
how I
on
was
another
able to
dimension.
see it.
Timeline is like boom,
I'm
now,
telling you.
present moment. So I'm just
Yes.
like, okay, like, okay, whatever I'm thinking about that I want to bring into my existence, I'm here now. Like that's
Yes.
it. That's the only thing
That's
you have to think
exactly
about.
how I was able to notice that it happened. It was so subtle that I could have literally missed it
Mm-hmm.
missed the whole thing. It was just that subtle. But just being aware of something so subtle, I'm
Mm-hmm.
here now. Like I was like, I had no doubt. Like I'm just like, okay, yeah, this it right here. This is exactly what that meditation just did. And not only that, but things have literally, you know how I always notice things that change in the reality. Once I'm on a new timeline, I start to notice new shit that just
Yeah.
will pop up anywhere. And I started noticing that on Kirby Parkway, now they didn't put more blue lights up here on Shelby Drive. That shit was not there the day before I did that damn meditation. I was like, man, I know you fucking lying. I was like, I know this shit did not work this fast. Like, I'm like, okay, then it was a pile of junk that just came from out of nowhere. Like, there is no houses on like when you go down Kirby Parkway, you know it's nothing but the backyard fences. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this was past the neighborhood before you get to the storage units, and somebody had put a pile of trash right there. It was like a pile, like they had cleaned up the field or something, and they put all the trash from the field on the side of the road. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I just went to this store earlier today. That was not here. They putting a car wash on Shelby Drive right here at Ross. Like the same car wash where I get my car where I have a membership. And I was thinking, what's so crazy, Dina? I was thinking, but I was going through that car wash and I was like, they need to put one of these motherfuckers close to me, like closer to me. You know what I'm saying? But now they building one. I was like,
I'm here now. I'm here now. I'm here now. Yeah, baby, I
the
am.
money gonna fall out of the sky.
Yes, I'm here now.
I'm here now.
I'm here to get everything. I was just saying at my job, I'm like, okay, I love my job, but it's a lot that I have to do. It's a lot of, I love the work that I do because I don't even feel like it's work, but I juggle a lot of different hats,
Yeah.
implementing and creating programming. Girl, why? My manager come to me and said, I need you to go ahead and write up a description for the role that you want the person to do all of these things that you've been doing for. Because we're going to hire a full-time person under you that's going to be salary, and we're going to bring in you an intern too.
Instant.
Girl, what?
Instant.
I'm here now. I said, oh, she came to me today. She was like, "Oh, have you had a chance to work?" I said, "It's already in my email. Let me forward it to you." Baby, you think I'm playing? I did
I
that the
see it
same day you
already.
told me. The same day you told me, I wrote that up. Don't play. It's
I'm
ready to
telling you.
send. You can post this right now. Let's get them in. Let's start doing interviews. I'm ready. Let's get this person hired. Like I'm trying to get them hired like yesterday. Like yes. Like I ain't got to do
Okay.
all that. I can focus on one thing, and that's all I got to do. Oh, say less. I already did it. I already said it. I was like, okay, yes, I am here now,
Yeah,
baby. That's
yeah.
that. Y'all, if you don't take no other affirmation, only thing you need to do is either you can script it. I'm a mental scripter because I don't have time to be writing stuff down all the time. So mentally, I just script in my head and just start saying and thinking about it over and over and over again. And
I
then
ain't
after
really
that, I'm
think
just
too
like,
hard.
I'm here now. After whatever you want, just say, I'm here now. And just watch how things are just going to start to just magically appear
Mhm.
into your
And
world
disappear.
and
And
disappear
they'll
because
disappear too.
things that are not a match, you know it's gonna disappear because it ain't what you want to be here now no more. So
Mhm. I went to go get my
it
feet
ain't.
done. I said when I go get my feet done, I want to be able to just walk right in, sit down, and somebody come right on and work on my nails. Girl, I went, where the Target is.
And
And
Ridgeway or
mhm,
yeah,
I went over there to the nail shop, and that's a busy area. That nail shop is
mm-hmm.
always full. They
By Best
usually
Buy.
work off of the one, yeah, by Best Buy. They usually work off of appointments a lot of
Appointments.
times because they be so busy. Girl,
Mm-hmm.
I walk right up in there while on a Saturday. On a Saturday. You
And
hear
got
me?
in. And
You
got in.
you
And
hear me?
got
It's the
in.
little wins for me. Yes, ma'am.
And got
Baby,
in.
I was out of there in 35, 45 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
I am here
And
now.
look, then the color on my toes is honey. I was like, we're We're here.
It's so magical.
Yeah.
But we have been here almost 2 hours, y'all. We're gonna
Ooh,
shut it down. But we wanted to give you all more because we haven't been here for a while and just having this open conversation, just talking about how to have open conversations, like you said, Galactic Honey, with your divine partner. Like, what does that look like? Making sure that you create space, translate, transmute,
yeah.
putting your partner in that hypnosis state and so they can have that information integrated and they can build and grow your partnership like and even the I'm here now mantra affirmation that you need to just start to say and then just saying those things that you want to bring forth and call forth within your relationship like I say we're a team, we're a partnership, I love you, like I only feel like this because and we should share because this help whatever the wording is like adding in those words and sharing those words with your partner so it also gets integrated into their system. So
Yes.
anything else you want to share, Galactic?
No, we here now. That's
We
all I
here now.
like. We're here. And I I do know that there are wonderful, wonderful, amazing connections coming into being. And this is just the beginning of witches and warlocks because there's gonna be so many people that relate to what we're saying because they're coming into these unions. And I just
Yes.
appreciate anybody that comes across our video. Anybody that listen, please like, share, and subscribe.
Please like, share, and subscribe on Instagram and YouTube. We
Yeah.
definitely have an Instagram page. Go and follow us on Instagram and, of course, YouTube. Like, share, like you said, subscribe, Witches and Warlocks, these divine conversations around divine partnerships and connections. So
Yeah.
we'll see you next time.
Witches and warlocks.